It's definitely an exciting time. I'm extremely proud of our players, our coaches, our administrators. A lot of hard work goes into getting yourself in position to get rewarded with a regional bid. And we kind of had a tough challenge ahead of us. We got off to a tough start in the ACC this year and had to really beat some good teams down the stretch, particularly in April and May, and we were able to do that. And as a result, we get a chance to stay in the state, play, in Athens, and play a really, really good team in UNC Wilmington. So excited about it. Our players are extremely excited about it, and certainly look forward to the challenge.
Questions for Coach?
Danny, when you look at Wilmington, they have one of the better hitters in the country and one of the better pitchers in the country, and Thatch and Sales. What do you see from them?
To your point, yeah, I mean, he's hit 27 home runs. He was a guy a lot of people were hoping went in the portal last year, and he did not. He stayed, so, I give him a lot of credit for staying, and I'm sure he's a big reason that they're in the regionals. The pitcher is real. He's an ACC pitcher that they have there, but they've had a great program, a good history of winning baseball. They're a conference champion, and I say that this time of year you're playing a lot of conference champions, or you're playing teams that are in tough conferences that got at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. So everybody's good. Everybody's got good players, and that's what makes it exciting and a challenge.
How would you feel just the focus is of your team getting ready for this weekend?
Really good. I think if you saw the reaction when it was announced, I think that's all you need to know. They were extremely excited. I knew at 11 o'clock that day we were in, but I chose not to share that. And I chose not to share it with my wife, so I'm still in trouble with her because I didn't share it with her. So maybe if I had that to do over again, I would have told her, but I didn't. And but yeah, they're excited, and they should be. I mean, this is a reason you come to Georgia Tech. It's a reason that you play college baseball, is to try to pursue the College World Series.
What benefit does it have for you guys, kind of having the regional almost just out your back door, not having to make the travel?
I think the travel is a huge piece. Like, I think we had played down the stretch, I think it was 12 days, and we had 8 games, and so we had traveled to Tallahassee, got back home late, then had to turn around a day later and go to Charlotte for the ACC tournament. Had to play the first 2 days of that tournament. So I do think we were a little road weary. So the fact that we don't have to get on a flight, it's an hour and 15 minutes up the road. Their parents, it's easy for them. If they want to go back and forth, the ones that live here in Georgia, they can do it. I just think it's easier for us from that perspective. Now, the team hosting it is an outstanding team. They've had a great year, but I can't emphasize that enough. We play UNC Wilmington, and that's where our focus is. But from our standpoint, I think that's why our guys were so excited, is that their families would be able to see them play in a regional. It's helped us. We took a couple days off, and we needed to. Like, I think we had some guys kind of beat up a little bit, and so kind of been building, up for the week. And I think we're in great spirits, and I think physically we're in good shape.
Hey, you said your wife hasn't forgiven you for not telling her. Did the players know that you knew? Because they were surprised.
No, they didn't. That's why I said I chose not to. And, like I said, if I had it to do over again, I would tell my wife. I'll just tell you that. But she's a trooper, and just like everybody, she's excited that we're, getting a chance to play and playing right up the road.
But did they know now that you were withholding it, the players?
Oh, I told them after when the show started. I said I knew, but I kind of wanted to, I just think it's special when you hear your name called. And did I expect that reaction? No, but I liked it. I liked it.
To be, Friday night with the big challenge ahead of you, to be in the nightcap, like you said, players' families can go back and forth. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting? Do you hope to see a whole lot of blue and gold in the stands?
We certainly hope so, But I would fully expect that there'll probably be a lot of red and black rooting against us on Friday night, and it would probably be the same if we were hosting and they had to come here. So that's what makes the rivalry great. And, and so, yeah, I fully expect that the crowd will be very pro UNC Wilmington.
Coach, you mentioned some of the early ACC struggles and then how you guys finished strong at the end. What did you learn about your team around the last stretch? What maybe changed that allowed you guys to kind of take the next step and get yourself done?
We changed our pitching rotation around some. John Giesler got healthy, like he was out a lot of March, and he was our one returning player that had been here that, had had a lot of success the year before. It was all ACC the year before. So I think getting him back, changing our rotation a little bit, and then our guys are competitive guys, and they kind of knew their backs were against the wall, and they had to go compete, and that's what they did.
Talking about the time off, I guess it was most important probably for the pitching staff. You knew and evaluated, you knew where you were with your lineup, but you've been making changes all season long with the pitching staff. Did you guys sit down and take a look at where you were with those pitchers and maybe decide, hey, maybe we need to do this or do that?
Oh, I think it's been ongoing, ever since we lost in Charlotte on Wednesday, that's what you're planning for. Okay, once the field's announced, who's coming in, who are we going to play, and it's how is our pitching staff, how are we going to line them up to beat who we have to beat.
How much is Matthew Ellis meant to you guys this year?
Huge. He was one of the guys we really wanted badly in the portal last year, and he chose us. And he's from Kentucky. Zeke Pinkham, our assistant coach, is from Kentucky. I think very instrumental and coaches the catchers, so very instrumental in getting him here. But that would be to answer the other question on. We got Giesler back, but Matthew Ellis got red hot at the same time, and we wouldn't be here. I mean, honestly, he has had games where he's put us on his back and just hit well, and we needed him, and he came through.
What's your message to the young guys? You mentioned a lot of these guys weren't on the team last year, so how do you kind of get them prepared for a regional? It's a little different.
It is different, so we'll have some freshmen. Like we've been, kind of unusual in the way college baseball is these days. We've played freshmen. Drew Burress, like ACC Freshman of the Year. I will be shocked if he's not the National Freshman of the Year. But it's his first time playing in the regionals, but nothing phases that guy, so I'm not worried about it. But, Von Lackey has been catching a lot. Carson Kearse has been playing a lot in the infield, so that's three freshmen that, start for us. Tate McKee has been in our rotation, so if he's pitching, that's four. But to your point, like a lot of these transfers, now some of them have played, in some regionals with other teams, but I don't think it's been anything close to what they're going to see starting on Friday.
Do you feel like your guys maybe have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder? Like, feel like they have a little bit to prove because they were considered maybe a bubble team, but they're in over some other schools?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have to play with a chip on our shoulder. Like, do I think we're good? I do. Do I think we're going to be the most talented team every time we step on the field? Absolutely not. And so we have to play with an edge. And I think that, that's why we're getting in. Our guys played with an edge in April and May.
Has there been anything with this team that's shocked you or stood out to you about this group of guys?
Well, if you would have asked this question after we had gotten swept here at home by Boston College, there was a lot of soul-searching on our staff. I'll just say it like that. Like, how are we going to get out of this? And we knew how tough our schedule was in the back half of the ACC, and quite honestly, if it would have been right after we got swept, there would have probably been a lot of answers like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. But, we put a lot of time into it, and we kind of made some adjustments with pitching. Matthew Ellis got hot, John Giesler got back, and then all the pieces seemed to just kind of blend well together. And then the competitive side of our guys, honestly, I think just came out. They knew they had to go. They knew they had to win games, and they did it.
Going off that,
No question, you know, and like one of the things that you know kind of came about, like I had kind of given a talk to the team about baseball as a momentum game. Like, you know, if your pitcher goes out and you get a 1, 2, 3 inning and you get off the field and then you come in and get some runs, that's a lot of momentum. Or it could be one pitch or one play that gives you momentum in a game. Well, I think it was our pitching coaches and kind of the people that are with the pitchers every day, they kind of said, we're Mojacks. And so they got T-shirts printed, Mojacks, and it's like momentum jackets. And that kind of, I mean, if you're around the team or you were around the dugout, you would hear that quite a bit. And so I think it was just that, like we got some momentum and we kind of just rode the wave of that momentum.
Talking about Lackey and Ellis, do you plan to continue to use them like you did the last part of the season?
Probably more than likely. Like, you know, Vaughn's a really talented catcher. Ellis is a good catcher. We've used him a lot when Cam Jones has pitched, to have him catch Cam Jones. It just gives us a better lineup. And so, yeah, I would say moving forward it'll be pretty much the same there.
Seems like a simple question, but what will it take for you guys to beat UNC?
We got to play well, so we have to pitch well. We got to play good defense, and then we got to get timely hits, and that's what it comes down to in playoff action. The intensity gets ramped up, so you hope your guys play with poise and confidence and focus. If you get behind, don't look at the scoreboard. Just keep playing, play like Mojacks, and try to get momentum back on your side. But you know, sometimes it just takes a lucky break or a bounce or something good goes your way and you get that momentum and keep rolling. But easiest answer is you just have to play well in every phase of the game.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you all for being
Appreciate
here.
it.
Yeah, no, definitely. We picked up our workload this week. We did a few inter squads and just, getting back into the routine, just treating this weekend like a weekend series. Had guys throw. We did 2 scrimmages this week and, managing our workload that way.
Can you tell us about Mojacks?
Mojacks, yeah. Momentum jackets. We've had our backs up against the wall quite a bit this year, and we, create momentum. We play well off that, so Coach Jason Richmond put it on a T-shirt for us.
Was that well accepted when or were you guys like, what are you talking about?
No, 100%. The first time he said it, we were like, what's the Mojacks? And he was like, the momentum jackets. Then, everyone bought into that, and that's kind of been one of our team mottos this year.
When did that start exactly?
I want to say it was the Virginia Tech series. That's where we came back and beat them.
When you look at all the changes that have been made on the pitching staff, have you become comfortable moving into that Friday slot?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, we've asked a lot of guys to fill different roles this year, and, everyone's willing to step into that role and contribute. At the end of the day, everyone's just trying to go out there and win and advance us to go into Omaha, so whatever it takes.
Do you guys feel like you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because you guys were kind of a bubble team? I saw your reaction when you found out, so do you feel like you have something to prove?
I mean, definitely, it's something that can help motivate us, but I think everyone's ready to know. I mean, we know we're good enough to play in the tournament. We weren't really looking at ourselves as a bubble team, but, us getting into the tournament was out of our hands, but definitely we were happy once we got selected, and we're going to use that momentum to go forward.
What was your reaction when you found out Coach Hall knew and he didn't tell you guys until afterwards?
Yeah, no, I thought it was funny. I mean, the coaches' wives were here, so I thought it was going to be good, but, I was so excited when we found out, so, fired up.
What does it mean for you not having to get on a plane to go somewhere?
Definitely. I think it's good. It's right down the road, so, travel, rest won't be an issue. So I think it's good, and it'll help us as a team.
Does it mean that also means your fans can travel and make it and be there to support you as well?
No, 100%. I think we'll have a good crowd there in Athens, and I think it'll be fun to play behind.
I know you're not playing Georgia yet, but does it add a little bit to the rivalry just that they're already hosting this regional and that you'll be there?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, it's the same. We're going to play 3 teams regardless. Nameless, faceless is how we approach every series. So I don't think it'll be any different.
Talk about the stadium from a pitcher's point of view. Is it a hitter's park, a pitcher's park, or is it just like a neutral?
I would say it's a pretty neutral field. I mean, a lot of home runs have been hit this year, but, hopefully keep the ball in the park.
Anything else for Aiden?
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, college baseball is a very different experience than high school baseball. I've told a lot of people, it feels like you're playing in the big leagues, going and traveling all over the country and staying in nice hotels. in high school we drove the yellow school bus and stayed in the La Quinta every weekend. So I mean it's been an awesome experience. Coach Ramsey and the rest of the coaches have done a great job, helped me be prepared for this season, and I think it's gone pretty well so far.
You've bounced back and forth between leadoff and hitting second, depending on whether Trey was healthy and playing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a preference for one of the two?
I honestly prefer to hit second, but a lot of the times when I'm going really well, I'm not getting pitched to, and I get a lot more pitches to hit when I'm hitting at the top of the lineup. So it probably bounces back and forth. It's about even.
Does it frustrate you a little bit sometimes when they're not pitching to you?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously does, but especially at the back half of the season, guys like Ellis and Cam Jones and Geezer have really stepped up and helped me kind of get some more pitches to hit because there's been a lot more power presence behind me in the lineup. So it's definitely been fun. It's frustrating when you don't get your chance, but you got to have confidence the guys behind you are going to do it for you.
What do you expect the atmosphere to be like this weekend?
I mean, obviously it's Athens. You expect it to be a big-time atmosphere. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Georgia Tech fans there, along with Georgia fans.
Do you feel like you guys have something to prove because you were kind of maybe that bubble team, but you guys got in?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely we know that we dropped quite a few games that we shouldn't have dropped, and we could have very easily been in the same situation the Bulldogs are in and be hosting here. But we lost a couple close ones, and now that we get the opportunity of going on the road, and to be honest, there's nothing more fun than going on the road and being able to beat some teams.
How nice is it, though, that it's not super far and your fans can also make it there as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I expect there to be a good Georgia Tech good Georgia Tech crowd there too. I mean, that's going to be it's good. I mean, a lot of teams don't have the opportunity. Guys that are going out west and stuff like that. I mean, they're going to have not a lot of guys there, so it'll be awesome that we don't have too far of a trip to make.
Have some of the older guys kind of told you kind of what to expect in a regional, just kind of how it's different compared to the regular season?
I mean, we've definitely got some guys that have played in regionals, but I mean, obviously at the end of the day, it's same 90 feet, same 60 feet to the pitcher's mound, and just because there's more people there doesn't really change anything.
We learned about Mojax today. Did that take a long time to stick, or did you guys kind of run with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously kind of been a saying, but I think it summarizes our team pretty well since the beginning of the year. I mean, when we get it going, we get it going, and as soon as we get on the board, we score and we score fast. So I mean, it's obviously a saying that has kind of come along.
You faced Georgia pitching earlier in the year. What was your impression? Of course, naturally, that was earlier in the season. A lot has changed since then. Yeah,
I mean, they've got some good arms, a few bullpen pieces, and 2 or 3 good starters. Obviously, we're ready to go for UNCW first, and we got to get there. We got to win that game before we get a chance.
Anything else for Drew?
What will it take for you guys to beat UNC?
They're a good team. I mean, obviously mid-major champions in their conference, and they've got some really good arms. And they've got a few good bats too. I mean, we got to come in there focused and ready to go. Like I said, I mean, you got to win 1 before you win 2. So we just coming ready to go at the end of the day is all we got to do.
All right. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.